All right, let me cut this out. Hopefully it works out successfully. It's Jack Newtown on the Sabbath, of course. Yesterday on Block Talk Radio, last night, we had a discussion about the whole shebang about Ray Rice. Now, this incident about him hitting his wife was around February, and new footage has came out and how it happened, which we already knew because he admitted to it. He said he knocked her out. He hit her in an elevator, and he told the NFL officials that, and NFL organization, all that, etc., etc. So he had a 2-game suspension. And when the tape came out by TMZ Sports, run by Harvey Levin, who obtained, well, he actually probably purchased the tape from the hotel, casino hotel in New Jersey. And all of a sudden, the massive outrage, I guess we're off on streaming, the massive outrage, we're down on streaming. The massive outrage, let's try to run this up again, because this has no lost connection. Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I said, we can run it one more time. But we have this on recording, so just in case it drops again, you can get the recorded version. I will put it on youtube.com/the Bible 1611 KJV, just like that. So I'll just put it out there on the YouTube if it continues to go out again. Windstream, and I will say the name again until they fix the problem. Windstream continues to limit the speeds to 3 MBSs. I understand it's a semi-rural area, but we still need the speed. Still need the speed. But okay, it went out again. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can just, you people can just get the recording while the stream is out. Is mainly Windstream service. That's what it is. When it comes down to, it's Windstream service. But what I was saying on the Block Talk Radio about casting stones and hiding hands, and we have a lot of that going on in the media today, and we continuously have that about Ray Rice. Now everybody's outraged, from Seth Rogen to Mia Farrow, even to the President of the United States of America is now saying something and calling him out. You have actor named Terry Crews, if you know, for his role in the Expendables series, as well as some other movies that he plays a professional buffoon, have called him out, have named him, casted stones, their stones against him. A man should never hit a woman, which is true. The Bible speaks that a man should not be bitter to his wife. That is true. And should honor his wife. The Bible also says, women, obey your husbands as well. So it goes hand in hand. But let's go ahead and get into the book of Matthew, chapter 6. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and pull that out. Actually, yeah, Matthew chapter 7. Actually, my apologies. Matthew chapter 7 and verse 1. And this is what Christ in his sermon in the Mount reproveth rash judgment. Those who are judging rationally. This is who Christ is referring to. Those who judge very rashly. don't know all the facts, don't know all the evidence, don't know if it's true or not. This is what Christ warned us about. Don't judge rashly. Judge, but don't judge rashly. That means don't judge just out of spite. Don't judge without all the facts, without all the evidence. Here's what Christ says. Verse 1, judge not that ye be not judged. So Christ is saying, judge not. Don't judge, at least unless you want to be judged. And you get people like that. There's people out there, they'll come out, they'll kowtow, they'll get all in your face and talk all this cash money nonsense, etc. But then, listen carefully. But then, let me alter this up a little bit more. Okay, there we go. But then, when it's time to call out on their transgressions, they get upset. They are easily offended. Verse 2, for which what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. So Christ is saying, for the judgment ye judge on that person, you also shall be judged. Here we go. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. So the measure of judgment, basically, if you're judging somebody, let's say somebody stole something. They literally stole something out of somebody's house or a store. But then you have a career of stealing and you're currently involved in stealing. So how can you judge one that stole $20 when you stole $100 million? You know, that's like Goldman Sachs telling these little bank robbers that steal $5,000 or $10,000, they should be in jail for life. They should be under a cell. There should be harsh laws against bank robbers versus guys who steal billions of dollars like Lehman Brothers, Goldman Sachs, AIG, and these mega corporations run by the Khazarian Amalek or Edomites who steal billions and billions of dollars like Bernie Madoff. But he gets history, gets books writing about them. He doesn't get called a thug. He gets called, well, he was smart. That's what Michael Savage said. Oh, he was smart at what he did. But see, when you have somebody who steal, let's say $50,000 to $100,000, got out clean, end up getting caught later, oh, they're thugs. So how can you measure the judgment of someone who steals 100,000 versus someone who steals 100 billion? You can't. The 100 billion is much greater than the 100,000. So Christ is saying the judgment for what you measure, you meet, it shall be measured to you again. That's right. And verse 3, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, So while you pointing out the sin of what your brother has done, okay, but consider not the beam that is in thy own eye. So that means someone that says, oh, he's a thug, he's a petty thief, Michael Brown is a thug, he's a thief, he should be shot down. But you got Henry Paulson, who stole hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, robbed the people blind. He should have been shot down the same way Michael Brown was shot down, because he stole $100 million. Michael Brown stole $50 worth of cigars. See what exactly what I'm talking about? So how can you people out there judge when your family for let's just go to history. Your family for generations. Listen carefully. Now, I'm not talking about all you people, because not all of you came from a family of liars and thieves who have what you call old money. But look at some of your people in your family, in your history, and look how much they stole the land from the Native Americans, stole the land from people of color, the so-called Negro people, took them and worked them to death, beat them to death, raped them to death. The Native Americans, y'all slaved them, y'all robbed them, y'all raped them, y'all killed them, y'all spread diseases on them. You took their land, you took their resources, you took the Mezio's land, you took their resources. But then you want to go out and you want to cast a stone at someone who steals, what, $50 worth of cigars, or somebody who robs a bank for $10,000, when your ancestors for years have been stealing for tens of billions of dollars. and even much more, and no telling XX amount of money that has been stolen from people of your lineage. And we ain't talking about all of you. Look at the movie Indiana Jones, how they glorify theft. So-called, we discovered. No, you stole it. It didn't belong to you. It doesn't have your name on it, so you have no right to claim it. You have no right to claim something that never belonged to you, nor in a country that you weren't even born or nor even existed. You don't even own the land that's in that with the treasure that's on it. You just write up some phony deed and say, "Oh, all is dying." So who's the bigger thief? Who's the bigger who deserves the bigger stone to be casted upon? The one who stole $50 worth of cigarillos, or someone who stole $50 billion worth of gold and got away with it? That's the comparison now, how Christ is saying. He said, if you're considering the mote in your brother's eye, but not consider the beam that is in thy own eye. And those of you Hollywood people out there who are casting stone at Ray Rice, what you been doing in your life? I mean, let's open up your closet. Been drugs, cocaine, having sex with babies, having sex with kids, having sex with your own family, robbing, stealing, rape, murder, homosexuality, adultery, fornication, blasphemy, reject Christ. How about y'all? Would you like those stones to be thrown at you, Seth Rogen, dope head, pot head, weed smoker, fornicator? And your friend James Franco try to have sex with a 15-year-old girl. But we want to cast stones at this brother because he hit his wife, and he repented. And again, I'm not defending him hitting his wife. I'm defending the fact, okay, if the man has repented and asked the Lord for forgiveness for what he did, and he'll never do it again, and he'll never get into that state to where he had to hit his woman, then you know what? We should leave him alone. He already got the contract destroyed, cut by the Ravens. So what more do you want? Allow the man to earn a living so he can feed his family. Because then if he can't earn a living, then guess what y'all gonna call him? An insufficient father, a deadbeat dad. He has a child that he has to take care of. And his wife understands that. Okay, you can call the wife, she's suffering from battered wife syndrome, battered woman syndrome, whatever you want to call it. It's actually none of your business, really. Honestly, it's really not your business, because let's get into your business. Let's open up your closet. Let's open up your house doors. Let's open up some skeletons in there. See what you've been doing. See if you've been hitting on your husband, or your husband been hitting on you haven't said nothing. Huh? Or see what kind of drugs y'all been doing. What are y'all selling drugs? Are you doing drugs? Are you touching your kids at night? Are you blaspheming the Most High? Because a lot of y'all do it every day. But y'all say, oh, that's nothing. The Lord, Jesus, we're covered in the blood of Jesus. Okay. So is Ray Rice and his wife and family then, if we want to put it that way. If we all covered in the blood of Jesus, you know what? Let Ray Rice work. Let him earn a living. Let him do it. And now we're attacking the other brother, Adrian Peterson's alleged child abuse, because he disciplined his child because his child was getting out of line. It's better for you to discipline your children than the state, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You don't discipline your children, your kids going to end up like Michael Brown. Your kids are going to end up like Trayvon Martin. That's what's going to happen. That's how your kids are going to end up. They're going to end up like Renisha McBride, because she ain't had no discipline in her home. Her parents wouldn't discipline her. Her daddy, her dad, whatever the hell he was to her, made excuses for her, and the reason why she was drunk and high and hit 2 cars before she beating on what that guy's name, Theodore Wafer's door. So let's tell the whole truth. Toxicology reports reported that she was drunk. She was 3 times over the limit of alcohol. And she had a high volume of THC, tetrahydrochloric acid, in her system. Hydrophonics. And she hit 2 parked cars, before she, passed out, whatever. That was judgment, because people aren't disciplining your children. And y'all get mad at Adrian Peterson for disciplining the child. Maybe he's trying to prevent something from happening to his child, because I'm going to tell you something. The state don't care about your children. They will take that child and send them to a rape dungeon. Send them to these pedophiles out there with the CPS cooperates with the pedophile ring. Ask the UN. Bunch of I'm telling you, people, there's stuff I'm saying right now that can get me killed. I know that. I'm aware of that. I'm highly aware that any given Sunday, the government can come in and take any one of us down for saying the stuff that we're saying. They can take us down any given Sunday. But we want to throw all of our stones on Ray Rice. Let's continue. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thy own eye, out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thy own eye. So Christ is saying, how would that make sense to say your brother, let me pull out the sin out of your own body, your own eye, but I have a larger sin than you do? Christ said that doesn't make any sense. That's hypocrisy. And here what he said, verse 5. Thy hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. So Christ has said you need to cast out the sins out of your life in order for you to judge and to rebuke the brother that's in sin. Yeah. So you need to cast out all the other stuff that you got going on, all the other sins that you got going on. I know we struggle. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean you stop from doing the work of the Lord. But I'm talking about if you calling the person, you say, oh, you an adulterer, you wrong, you this and that, and you at a time were caught committing adultery and you haven't repented and you're still somewhat doing it to a certain extent. How can you call this brother out for being an adulterer when you were adultery damn self? That's like a pimp telling another pimp you treating your prostitutes wrong, but you're doing the same damn thing. That is part of pimping. Because if they get out of line, you have to put your hands on them, right? Pimps out there. That's like I said, that's like a pimp trying to tell another pimp he's been treating women when you do it. I mean, Terry Crews made a statement saying that the NFL is such a cult and such evil and such transgressions going on there. Terry Crews, Hollywood is even a much bigger cult. Hollywood is even a greater cult than the NFL. There's beyond transgressions that go on in Hollywood, Terry Crews, and you know all too well of it. And also, sir, you was also a member of the NFL. The reason why you're not there anymore is because you couldn't cut the mustard. Yeah. So let's not get started with saying, oh, the NFL's a cult. There's so much sin in there. There's sins are wreaked to heaven high in Hollywood, Mr. Cruz. Actually, you was in a movie, you hypocrite, called Norbit. Yeah. You was in a movie called, sir, I'm Mr. Cruz. You was in a movie called Norbit. in which you played this guy that owns a construction company. You and your brothers, and what's her name, Rasputin or whatever the hell her name was, your sister, who was dressed, who was Eddie Murphy dressed as a woman. Yeah. Unbelievable. So you had a man put on a suit, a fat suit, to emulate a woman, and you played in that movie, and you ran a, or try to construct a strip club called Nippleopolis. But then you casting stones on brothers who go to the strip clubs. But yet you played in a movie that talked about stripping and strip clubs. Better yet, you played in a number of questionable movies, sir. Oh, it was just acting, really? Well, looks like art is beginning to imitate life. Life imitates art. But you want to go ahead and make your say, which is fine. You can say whatever you want. I have a right to say whatever I want towards you, righteously, of course, with correctness. You were in the same cult, the NFL. You went from one cult to another. Actually, you went from a smaller cult to a bigger cult. Hollywood, like Bryan Singer, who molest young boys, and there's been more than one allegation about Bryan Singer, the producer of X-Men series, that's been known to engage in homosexual activities. Hollywood has been known that the way to get ahead in life is you have to go to these homosexual parties and grab your ankles, bite the pillow, or you may end up having to bend somebody over for their pleasure. I'm trying to keep it clean as possible. Okay, Mr. Cruz. And 9 times out of 10, you was probably one of those men who were engaged or involved in those type of activities. I can tell, I can look at you that you were. You're very animated, extremely animated, to the point to where you showed up at the preview of the Expendable series, ripped your shirt off, and revealed that you had a bikini on. And while the whole Expendables crew laughed at you because they thought you were some circus chimpanzee that wants a banana. That's what they, how they look at you at. And then you say Sylvester Stallone is your father and said that he's like a father, the father that I never had. When you did have an actual father at home, he may not have been the best one, but you actually had a father at home. You talking about, oh, Stallone, I looked up to him as a father. Oh, the same guy who abused his half sister has to pay her a lifetime payment of over $7,000 a month, lifetime, because he made a settlement with his half sister that he abused, and a $3.5 million settlement check. Is you talking about that Sylvester Stallone, Mr. Cruz? See there? I know what's his name can't say nothing. Ray Rice can't say a darn thing. He committed double murder. But he still got to play for the Ravens and won 2 Super Bowl championships. Dante Stallworth killed a homeless man. He got to went on to play again. Again, I'm not, like I said, these men have repented. These brothers have repented for their sins. Hopefully they did. And they moved on and live righteously. I hope these two have. But I'm just giving an example of people who still played and who still had a job and who still earned a living, even though they have committed heinous sins compared to what Ray Rice has done. All this is nothing but more than a propaganda. It is a propaganda. Now they're coming after the brother Adrian Peterson. They coming after him for alleged child abuse. Don't get me wrong, the brother he's a whoremonger. Just going to tell you like that. He is a whoremonger. And has 7 children. He had 8, but he has 7 now. By several different women. Which is a shame. Now, if he had one wife and he had 7 children by one wife, I say all praises. But 7 women, he's married. Don't get me wrong, he's married now. But he's still got children outside of wedlock. 7 of them. Now, I'm not saying there's, that's evil, that's a sin. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I think he should have learned the lesson the first time. And just dealt with the woman that you was dealing with, whatever the case may be. But things happen. And now they're throwing stones at him. And I guess I think one of the child's mothers, one of them, it was an actual child that allegedly was abused. But it was one of the other child's mothers who's often very vocal. She's actually been all over the TMZ and stuff. I think she's a dancer. One of those that slide down the pole, put it that way. She's actually very vocal about him, and I guess she likes to put his business out there like that, which, it's a shame. It is a shame. I'll put it that way. It is a shame that, some of these women just can't control themselves. They get so embittered with the man to where they're willing to sell out to the enemy. And they should understand that the enemy will use this to their advantage, and when they get done with you, they'll throw you away. And a number of these women don't understand, especially with the family court system. These sisters, they don't understand that you're helping them destroy a man, because you came from man, and you are sitting there destroying him by running to the enemy because you're mad at him about something. And then when it's all said and done, they no longer need you. They're going to toss you to the side. And you're going to think, well, I did all this for you. Well, they don't care about that. After that, they got what they want out of the deal. They're done with you. They don't care about you. They never did. They just want you long enough just to use you to get rid of you. So, what I'm saying is, and if you look at King David of Israel, the king of Israel, where he sinned, where he committed adultery with Bathsheba. And she was also a woman of another nation that he slept with. And in order for him to marry Bathsheba, he had to have her husband Uriah killed. Uriah knew the affair was going on. It wasn't really much he could do, because David was the king. And David abused his power to have Uriah killed in war. Uriah was a Hittite. He was what you call them today, so-called Africans. Because David took Uriah's wife and slept with her. And the Lord judged David because he angered the Most High in doing that. Even though that was God's favorite servant, he angered the Most High in doing that. So the Most High killed his child, his one of his child from Bathsheba. So he had the child killed. And the Lord told David, okay, since you already made this possible, go into Bathsheba. And then thus came Solomon. But see, the Lord wasn't done with David yet. The Lord was not done with David. You know what the Lord also did? Not only he killed his child, because remember, the Lord was very upset with this one, because this is his favorite servant. So what the Lord did, he had his son Absalom, who was of the devil, sleep with all of David's wives, not including Bathsheba or whatever, but just his 10 wives that David had. Absalom slept with all of David's wives in public, because the Lord said, what you did in secret, I will do to you in public. So the Lord had put the spirit on Absalom, used him to sleep with all of David's wives. His own son sleeping with all his stepmothers. That's right. That's how Reuben got jacked up. Sleeping with his stepmom, because Reuben was the original lawgiver before Judah. And Reuben screwed up by sleeping with his stepmother, and so he got knocked down. So Judah became the lawgiver. But continuing on. Absalom slept with all David's 10 wives, and David had to put them away. That means he could no longer deal with them anymore, because they all slept with Absalom. All his wives slept with Absalom, and Absalom did it in public in front of everybody. Serious bit? No, he did it in front of everybody. Absalom did all David's wives in front of everybody. So he humiliated David. He humiliated his father. But again, hey, the Lord works in judgment. Absalom got judged. Got his head stuck in an oak tree. The donkey got escaped, but Absalom didn't. Absalom died. Absalom choked to death. Yep. Look at King Solomon, where Solomon dealt with women, strange women from strange doctrines, and he got judged. His kingdom fell. Now, initially under David, the kingdom almost failed, but it was saved. Just like when Saul was jealous of David, he had total disdain for David. And look what happened to Saul. He was killed in battle because he hated his brother. So people gotta understand that this brother Ray Rice, and I pray for his family, I really do. Yeah, he did a wrong thing. We know the wife did provoke it. She also hit him too, but still, overall, just like when Eve messed up. She messed up. She fell into the ways of Lucifer, And he and Adam listened to the woman, Adahama listened to the woman, and he was the one that actually got charged, not the woman. Even though the woman sinned, he still was on the hook for it. He still was held accountable for her actions. Because when she committed sin, there was not a judgment until Adam listened to the woman. So the Lord said, because you listened to the woman, I'm going to hold this on you. I'm going to hold this on your head. Even though maybe the woman may have did something, whatever. I'm not saying it's true or not, but at the end of the day, we are held on the hook. No matter how you like it. No matter how you like it. Just like with Abigail and Nabal. Nabal used to abuse his wife. And there was a time where David was going to intervene and kill Nabal because he was abusive towards Abigail. But she prayed to the Lord that he will get better. That he will become the man that she once looked up to. And Nabal did not want to do right, so the Lord killed Nabal. And Abigail ended up marrying David. Abigail did all she could. Let me tell you something. Abigail did all she could to try to save Nabal from the Lord's judgment. She didn't pray for his death. She didn't say, yeah, kill him. Yeah, I pray for his death. Yeah, I don't die. And even in cases like that, some women may feel that way. When a man beat her so bad, batter her up so much to the point to where she probably will feel that way. But the Lord says, don't worry about it. Let me handle it. He said, don't worry. Let me handle it. So the Lord judged Nabal. So hopefully Ray Rice learns this and he won't become that Nabal that the Lord has to put to death. It's just quite disturbing that, people would now focus all their attention on this situation. And we got impoverished children. We got and since you want to talk about women being abused, porn industry is one prime example of a woman being abused. If you want to take it there. Now again, they all volunteer to do these things. They all volunteer to engage in these sexual activities. But if you want to look at it that way, it is, the pornography industry is nothing but abuse. So is the Hollywood industry. People that get to the top because they're talented. Most of them are just mediocre. Some of them are very truly talented, but then there's just those who are just mediocre, and the only way for them to get what you call any accolades, whatever, is they have to engage in abusive activities, and one of them is engage in sleeping with somebody you don't want to sleep with at all. I mean, if you can just hear about some of these pornographic videos they got out there, and sisters, listen to me carefully. One of them is what you call the ghetto gaggers, and where you have an Edomite man sticking his in an Israelite sister's mouth and trying to gag her as much as he can. basically make her sick, regurgitate, to humiliate her, and spit on her. They spit on her, they pee on her, they just do all types of humiliation, abuse towards these women. How about that Officer Holesclaw guy from Oklahoma who raped and abused eight daughters of Jerusalem? And there's no Seth Rogen's, there's no Terry Crews saying anything about it. I don't hear these same brothers and sisters out there who are condemning Ray Rice or condemning this officer from Oklahoma City, as well as some of the porn industry. And then you have another one called the well, it ain't another one, but these pornographic things where they humiliate women, they tie them up and spit on them and defecate and all kinds of madness that these people do in Hollywood. And this is the Hollywood industry. The porn industry is part of Hollywood, and porn industry is what driving the force of Hollywood. And you got all that going on, but we're so concerned about Ray Rice hitting his wife and, oh, she could have died. Well, there were some people in the porn industry that actually died from that type of, these activities. What's that girl name who got the crap beaten out of her so bad she had to have reconstructive surgery on her face? Christy Mack, from her boyfriend called War Machine. And this guy's an abuser and a rapist. But we don't have no advocacy calling this man out, or, yeah, he's in jail. But like I said, you people really, 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 really go overboard when it comes to something like what Ray Rice, or so-called what Adrian Peterson did. And let's compare that to the level of sins that Hollywood has done to women. And we go around, we tell around talking about this country we're tolerant, we don't want women to be abused and this and that, and we go around other countries try to tell these Ishmaelites how to treat their women, and don't you disrespect your women, blah 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 blah. This country is known for disrespecting women on a global scale. Actually, this country was built on abusing women. Not only this country was built on abusing women, this country was also known to selling their own women to other men. Remember white slavery, or what they call sex slavery, where they sold, mainly the Caucasian women to other nations, other men, just like they sold a Negro slave or a Metzio slave or a native slave. They were doing that. And they still doing it. The UN out there, they're kidnapping children, breaking them in. When I mean breaking them in, they rape them to test what they call test the product, and then they go out there, they sell them to other countries. The UN run a child prostitution ring. You got these same hypocrites that go to Thailand every year, and I think it's time to start looking at all these Hollywood, especially male medias. I'm talking about these Hollywood male actors or celebrities, and start looking at their passport books and seeing what places they're going to, like Thailand in particular, and start questioning why they're going to Thailand very often. 9 times out of 10, they're going to Thailand so they can have sex with underage kids, because over there it's pretty legal. It's underground. Yeah, Dateline busted him. You had some Americans, and you had mostly the United Kingdoms going to Thailand every year to deal with underage girls and boys. Yeah. You got that going on. But we want to talk about Ray Rice and how Adrian Peterson disciplined his child. What about Shamika Holesclaw, who abused her woman and she was in abominable relationships anyway. Abused her woman, and then turn around and shot her car up. We don't want to talk about that, because that's too much judgment right there. It's too much. But like I said, the man can repent and he can be forgiven. The man can learn to do righteousness. He can learn to adhere to the laws, commandments, and statutes according to Scripture, adhere to the Sabbath. He can do that. Him and his wife, him and his family. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for Ray Rice to come into this true understanding of the Bible and know that who he is and who his family is, and learn to teach that. And maybe this is probably a perfect opportunity for him to get there. Because I'm starting to see a couple brothers starting to turn around a little bit, because they're now understanding what's going on. They're understanding what's going on. There's a brother who's a celebrity. He's starting to turn that corner. I'm starting to see it. I hope he keeps moving. He's turning that corner. He has turned that corner big time, because he's starting to see those people who were his so-called friends were actually people that are working for those who were against us the whole time. So now he's starting to turn the corner. Yeah, he's beginning to turn the corner. And like I said, that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. That's a plus. We need more of that. But again, he's been tried, he's been convicted, and he's been judged. May not been the type of judgment you like to have, but you know what? Hey, he lost $40 million. That's a big judgment. The man lost $40 million. And the NFL knew about it. They knew about it. $40 million. It's a lot of money to lose. And you know what? That's still not enough for y'all. Y'all still want more of his blood. That's still not enough for y'all. Y'all still want this man's blood. Y'all want him to suffer in the most extreme ways. That's a shame. I wouldn't wish that on any brother. I wouldn't wish that on the brother, what's his name? Brother Tariq Nasheed. He fell off. Don't get me wrong. He went off. He's off. But I don't wish that none on him. I still want him to work. I still want him to live. I still want that brother to make money so he can take care of his family. I don't wish that on any brother. I don't care what they did. At the end of the day, you know, if they ain't murder nobody or whatsoever, why are you upset? Why are you so upset? Yes, there's a lot of abuse that goes on, and you get these Edomites out there that's talking about, oh, you black geese, you always beating on your women and killing your women. Look at you. Yes, that's because the media specifically targets that to bring in an agenda. If we were to go through the history, don't you know we'll find out more of y'all were John Haskell murdered a family because he was looking for his ex-wife. He was beating on her. We compare that to y'all. Y'all commit more deaths on your wives. Hell, y'all the ones that sold your women to slavery, to sex slavery. You didn't care about your women. So two wrongs don't make it right. We got people who are knee deep in sin that needs pulling out. People who are impoverished that needs help. Women with extreme low self-esteem that needs motivation. Men who've been defeated needs to be lifted. Men who are in prison innocently, who are innocent in prison, need to be released. And we got to stop all the presses. Stop all the presses for one man because he slapped his wife and she hit her head on the elevator rail, got knocked out. But she ain't got no concussion. She got no bruises like Rihanna when Chris did to her, etc. One man. We got to stop all the presses and throw our stalls on him. Where we got a president that's out there murdering people, robbing people, and then want to tell the men that you need to go home and take care of your kids. Really? Oh, the same man whose father didn't do his due diligence, right? Like Bill Cosby talking about, oh, you black people, you need to do this, you need to do that. Okay, fine. I'm fine with that. But you gonna tell me and do this when you raped a woman at your house with your wife there and then had a child by the kid that you never supported, that's been proven that you're the father, and then you're gonna turn around and tell us to do what now, nigga? See these people? Got a bunch of Hollywood hypocrites. I ain't hear anybody say nothing about Ray Lewis or Dante Stallworth or Lawrence Phillips. And for you men out there who are, he go to prison for life. Yeah, we need to put him under cell. Yeah, he need to be. Yeah. For those brothers out there who are siding along with these heathen nations, shame on you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm not siding with abuse. I'm just siding with right versus wrong. The man did his time. The man got found guilty. He owned up to it. He repented. He lost money. He's $40 million out the hole. What more do you want? What else do you want from this man? You already got enough blood out of the stone. What more do you want from him? What more? Y'all seem like y'all want everything from this man. which is sad. It really is sad. It is. This brother repented, so I say, you know what? If he repented and he doesn't want to no longer drink alcohol, now you can drink in moderation as long as you don't get drunk and act foolish. I say let the man feed his family. Let the man live. Let him play again. Like I said, I don't be supporting all these sports and stuff, but still. I mean, if you got into it with your wife, should you lose your job? I'm talking about any job. I mean, it can be at McDonald's. Should you lose your job for getting into it with your wife? Should you, as a Luke Gehman should have never been a politician. The way he abused his first two wives. We won't talk about that. Nah. We don't want to do that. Won't you ask George W. Bush? Oh, he was a drunk. So you know if he was a drunk, 9 times out of 10, he done went upside Laura's head a couple of times. Because George Bush was a known drunk. Yeah. They ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you the fact he done put his hands on his wife too when he was drunk. That's why George Bush stopped drinking. And, oh yeah, his wife was a drunk too. She killed somebody. Ain't that right? We don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. No, we don't. Look at Bill Clinton. He was an abuser. Ain't nobody talking about that either. See? Hey, there are a deck row of politicians who done put their hands on their wives and beat them and abused them. I mean, if they're willing to abuse a random person, a waitress, what's his name? Senators Chris Dodd and another senator who sat there and tried to sexually assault a waitress in a restaurant in the back of the restaurant area. Tell you the truth. But we all want to cast our stones. Yep. Mia Farrow, your husband was sitting up there having a sexual relationship with a 13-year-old adopted daughter, and you knew about it. You let it go on. You let him abuse your kids too. But now you got something to say about Ray Rice. Talk about that. Nope. We don't want to talk about that. We want to cast our stones and throw them. Now, if the man was unrepentant and said, I don't care what y'all think, ha 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 ha, ha, I'll do it again, then yeah, cast your stones. But the guy repented. Once an abuser, always an abuser. This is what all these damn women would say. Once an abuser, always abuser. Okay, once a whore, once a whore, always a whore. Am I right? Once a liar, always a liar. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Once an adulteress, always an adulteress. Once an abortioner is always an abortionist, right? So all those women out there who run their mouth about Ray Rice who aborted their kids, once an abortionist, always an abortionist, right? You did worse than what Ray Rice did. You killed a life. You took a life that did nothing to you whatsoever because it was going to be a problem. in your life, because your body, your figure won't be. Miss what's her name? What's that whore's name? Chantel Jackson, whatever the heck her name is, who aborted Floyd Mayweather's 2 babies. Yeah. And he abused me. You abused 2 children. You killed 2 babies. But we all want to jump on Floyd May. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't like Floyd May. I don't hate him, but he got issues that he needs to solve. Okay, I'll put it that way. He's still a brother at the end of the day, and I want him to do righteousness, and I want him to come to the righteousness and cut Justin Bieber off. And she like, he abused me. He beat me up. He did this. He did that. You killed his 2 babies. You killed his 2 babies. You casting stones, yet those stones should be thrown back at you, but at larger sizes. You cast stone on this man. The stone should be like Christ says, it should come back to you. You killed 2 babies. That's murder. No matter how you cut it, no matter how you slice it, you killed 2 babies. That's what you did. That's exactly what you did. Some of y'all need to get y'all priorities straight. And you weak man, I'm gonna tell you something. You're the reason why this. I'm gonna tell you something. You keep this up, you ain't gonna have no rights. Like the Lord says, He don't want weak hands. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah while we at it. Jeremiah 3. This is for you Terry Crews. This is for all you guys who are weak, effeminate, pacified sissies, bunch of pansies. You make me so sick to my stomach. Here we go. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy ways to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. So why are you trimming your ways to seek love, man? Weak man. Why are you like happy wife, happy life? You are in sin. You are trimming your ways. This is actually chapter 2. You are trimming your ways to seek love. You are trimming your ways to seek love. So you are willing to get rid of your manliness in order to please the woman. You're willing to disobey the laws, commandments, and statutes, brothers, in order to please the woman. So you're trimming your ways. So you are in sin, brother. And here's Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 6. The Lord has also said unto me, in the days of Josiah the king, King Josiah, who had to restore the laws of Israel, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel have done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there have played the harlot. So the nation of Israel has played the harlot to Hollywood, has played the harlot to the other nations. Mm. This is Jack, and I will be on Block Talk Radio Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I will say to Ray Rice, I hope that y'all can manage through this, you and your wife and your family. I pray that you have repented and you have repented from the sin that you've committed against your wife and your wife vice versa. And I hope you can move forward with this and that you're able to feed your family, that you're able to survive, you're able to manage your finances correctly. And I pray that things work out for the best.